What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And this one wants to give you guys a very important warning about the markets for tomorrow. Please note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000 and you're guaranteed 15, not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends in a couple of weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about the markets. So something very interesting has happened to the market so far. We were dumping really hard, and then we hit our 200 EMA. This has trended upwards towards 547, and now the buyers have stepped back in. So SPY is actually holding support right now. We haven't lost our super critical support to start dumping to that gap fill into the lower 540s. So I was making a video about how if we lost that level, this could lead to a bigger rug pull, right? But we held it so far as buyers are stepping in. So the question is, are we about to see a bounce off this? Are we about to see a big rug pull to fill our gap into the lower 540s? That depends on some factors. I want to talk about what those factors are. So tomorrow is going to be Friday, September 6th, 2024. 1 hour before the market opens, we have some big data coming out. This data is going to be the unemployment numbers. We have non-farm payrolls, the unemployment rate, governmental payrolls, manufacturing payrolls, and the list goes on. But the main piece of data is going to be the unemployment rate. The last time we saw this report, okay, the last time we got an update on this, and it was so much higher than expected, the market got a massive rug pull. But there's also been times where it came out and the market rallied. So we could go either way, but at this point, I think the market's now going to be waiting for and depending on the unemployment numbers. So that's why you have to be very cautious right now with the markets, because if you're holding anything overnight on equities accounts, you have to hold through the unemployment data. That's the very important thing I want to warn you guys about. If you hold overnight, not knowing which way we're going to go, we could gap down and tank tomorrow if the data is really bad, if we get a much higher than expected unemployment rate, which leads to more recessionary fears, or if the data is close to expectations and so, that could also cause the market to bounce, and we could gap up and start a little rally tomorrow. So it all depends. Also, remember, tomorrow is a Friday. Fridays are oftentimes full of manipulation. So we'll see how things end up going. But I'm just here to give you guys that warning about how the market tends to move. There tends to be a lot of manipulation on days like this. I also want to mention that one thing that's been happening is for the last couple of Fridays, the market loves to kind of like have green days, a little bit of green. That tends to happen on Fridays as well. It's been like that for the last couple of weeks. So we're going to be watching to see if we're about to start a counter trend bounce or not. So for SPY, it's very simple. If we continue to hold above 550, okay, that's a good sign. If the data comes out decent, we could see a rally back up towards 555, if not even higher than that. And if we see the opposite, if we get a bad report and we get a rug pull, we're going to be looking for 547, our 200 EMA. If we lose that, we're going to be coming all the way down to fill our gap around 543 or even below that. We could be dipping closer to 540. So it all depends. Will we dump 5 to 7 points, or will we see a rally that's 5 to 7 points to the upside? I think there's going to be a huge move tomorrow. And I think that that's going to be very, very critical for what the market ends up doing. So I'm going to be watching this very, very carefully. I think there's a good chance that we could be looking for a big move. So once again, watch your data just to be safe and be very mindful of this if you are planning on holding overnight. For ES, we have a tight range right over here. If we lose 55.10 tomorrow, there could be a rug pull back down towards 54.80 or below that. If we break our 200 EMA at 55.50, we're going to be looking for a rally back up towards 55.80. Now we're stuck within this range going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So we'll have to give this some time just to see what the reaction is for tomorrow. So we'll see how that ends up going. For Nvda, Nvidia has resistance around this 107 area and also at 110, and our main supports at 104. We're kind of stuck in the middle, going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Because we're stuck in the middle, we'll have to watch and see what the reaction happens to be. But watch and see if we can try to break 110 tomorrow to see a nice rally, or if we end up losing 104 to start tanking towards the 99 area. So overall, the setup is technically on a bit of a downtrend, but we'll see if there's a counter trend rally or not before we continue lower. We just have to wait and see. We're completely range bound, so that's why we have to wait to see which direction we break in. That's why we have to be patient with Nvidia. For Bitcoin, we were dipping a little bit, but now we're trying to get bought back up. We're going to be looking at 57,000 as our resistance, and our main supports over here around this 55,500 area. There's also like a larger head and shoulders like structure that could lead to more downside. We'll see how this ends up reacting. We technically have a range on Bitcoin as well. We'll see if we get bought back up above 58,500, or if we lose the 56,000 area, we're kind of stuck in the middle, so give it some time. But that's very dependent on that. I want to call out Tesla. Tesla has a very nice setup right now. So Tesla looks more bullish because of this. When you zoom out like this, we have a clear inverse head and shoulders. We're also breaking some resistance levels right here. So this is a sign that we had a low here. We came up, made this high, made a higher low. This low right here is higher than this low. Then we broke the high again. So this is a chance that Tesla could be trying to bounce. If we break 235 tomorrow, we could be looking for a rally back into the 240s by next week, and at least to 245, 246 around there. If we get a rug pull, you want to see this basically lose the 220 area to start dipping. We also have that gap at 220. So we're going to be watching tomorrow. Does Tesla dump to 220 to fill the gap, or will we see a big rally thanks to the inverse head and shoulders? Technicals favor the upside moved into the 240s, but just to be safe, we have to wait and see depending on what we're being told about our data, the unemployment numbers and such. So we have to just wait and see. Nothing is guaranteed quite yet, but the setup looks very, very nice on Tesla, in my opinion. For NQ is the same thing as the QQQ. We have a nice range to watch for. 18,800 is our support, and our resistance is going to be around the 19,000 area. We're going to be watching to see if we can try to break out of these levels or not. If we do break above our 20 EMA, we're looking for a rebound. If not, we could be looking for a dump. We're kind of stuck in the middle, so give it some time. For the QQQ, we're on a bit of a downtrend right now. We're looking at this resistance right here around this 465 area, and we have our main support at 458. Will we get a rug pull below 458 when the data comes out to start dumping towards, the lower 450s? Or will there be a big rally back up to 465 plus? It depends on the data. Aapl, of all things, looks a little bit more bullish. We're looking very nice holding our 200 EMA. If we get a rug pull and we reject off 223.8, we could be dipping closer to 218. And if we break above 223.8, we could be pushing for these highs all over again. So we'll watch and see what that ends up leading to. For other factors out there, just want to call out the IWM. We're stuck in the middle right now. We were dumping only to get brought back up, so buyers are trying to get us back above 212. If we get bad data tomorrow, we could come down to fill the gap at 208. And if we do well, we could try to rebound for 214 to 216. So it depends on the data. We are seeing buyers defended, so it's still kind of stuck, so give it some time. Coin is dipping right now. We're going to be looking at 160 as our main support. We'll see if we bounce off that or not. For now, it could dip a little bit more, then we'll see if we hold 160. For Amazon, we have resistance around 178 and support at 175. We're kind of stuck in the middle. We do have potential to try to push higher, though we look kind of decent from a technical standpoint because we're trying to break these highs right here. So this does suggest we could be pushing for 180 plus. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. But it depends on the data, of course. Meta is looking decent. It's on the higher end of this range. We're going to be looking at resistance around 518. If we break above that, I think we could be going up to 524 again. If we reject off that, we could be dipping back down to 506. We'll see tomorrow. But so far, it has potential. For Microsoft, we're in the middle. We have resistance at 410 and also support at 406. We're stuck in the middle, so give it some time. We'll see if we get a rejection or not, or we're just range bound. So whichever way we break will determine the bigger move. And then for Google, we have a nice double bottom. We're trying to hold 156. If we were to lose 156, there could be a bigger rug pull coming. And if we hold that, we could try to rebound for 160 all over again. So we're going to give this some time. With that being said, guys, the market's in a very, very critical place. We'll see what happens with SPY moving forward as we have very important data coming out for tomorrow. But like I said before, if you are holding any position overnight, there's going to be some risk associated with doing that. So we will see what that leads to. And let's just be very, very mindful of the unemployment numbers. So whatever they lead to, let's just be very, very patient, and we'll see if this leads to a big bounce in the markets or not. But the choice is yours. If you want to go long or short, that's up to you guys. I'm just here to give you guys the warnings. All right. So have a great day, guys. Get ready for unemployment data before the market opens tomorrow. I'll be back for one more video today in just a couple of hours. Until then, take care, guys. I'll see you guys very soon, and peace out.